So today we're gonna learn the importance of occupying the center and 2 ways you can occupy it. Before we learn how to occupy the center, we probably should learn why the center is important. There are the squares 5D, 4D, 5E, and 4E are the most important squares to control. And here's an example why. I put in a rook to see a horse why it would be very important to control the center. This horse can move here and here. So the horse on H1 can only move the 2 spots. While the horse in the center on the square 4D, which is one of the center squares, can move a lot. This horse can move in 2 places. Let's see how many places this horse can move to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we quadrupled around, I think it's quadrupled the amount of places you can move with this horse. So now that you know why it's very important to control the center. Then, let's see 2 ways you can occupy the center. First, you can send in the obvious pawns, or the other strategy learned by Russians, or back then they're still communists, but they're definitely made by Russians. Basically, they put the horses in a way that if any enemy pawns try to occupy the center, they'll get killed by a horse. So in theory, basically, there are 2 ways to occupy the center. Either to send units in the center, or to have units sort of control the center, because they could go there in theory. Of course, this is an oversimplified version, but I'm gonna make a quick test game. There's not gonna be any players, but we're gonna run a small simulation of what's gonna happen. So I just have to fix the chessboard. Just honestly very annoying. Done. So the black is gonna occupy the center squares, while the white, me, is gonna control the center squares. If black is smart, he can spot that the horse, if he moves over there, it can get killed by the horse. So he may move over there. And if you notice, however, there's a catch. In theory, if he actually moves this pawn over there, he could actually, in theory, move the bishop to anywhere he likes. Anyways, at the main time white is probably has major control over the center. In fact, I'll say this is actually so annoying. Sorry, this is also really annoying. Just give me a sec.
It's okay, Christian, don't worry.
Sorry about this inconvenience. See? Basically, in theory, he can actually hit the pawn. So pretty much those 4 center squares are pretty much cleared to their control. However, sure, probably the best move that they can do is to hit this pawn. However, they're gonna get killed by the king, so this probably is not a good approach. So probably the best way to occupy center squares is actually not to send pawns, but to send horsemen to surround it. So in case the enemy gets the center squares, you can kill them immediately. There's also another catch. Let's just say, in this scenario, the enemy sent in pawns to this. Let's just say you put a pawn in the center. Then the enemy sets. So imagine if you get those two over there. But this is probably gonna be the enemy turn. So in theory, if they do over there, it's gonna be trouble because this is the only. In theory, they can still occupy this square, but you could still use a combination of both, I guess. But I wouldn't really use it, to be honest. So probably the best ways to get the squares in the middle is to control them by horsemen. So in case any units going there is in the center squares, they'll get killed. And that's it for the video. Bye.